Hey guys, this is Grace, and welcome to the layout number 5 of our masculine series. This is the fifth layout and the final layout of this series. I gotta tell you, I struggled with this one just because I couldn't think of any other thing to feature. And so we're just gonna do a birthday, and this one's going to be a more for adult type of birthday. And I think for me, what I struggle the most is to kind of differentiate the kiddie styles for kid birthdays and then make it more adult. So the focus here is going to use that black background paper and kind of doing that chalkboard feel, but then having some birthday themes in there as well. So this is going to be a layout for my husband's birthday, and I think this was 2020. And then I only have two photos, and they're two 3x4s, but one is horizontal and one is vertical. I decided to mat them so that they can stand out a little bit more, but I am going to kind of audition different kinds of pattern papers so that there's kind of a little difference there. I also cut a file from my silhouette machine that says vintage 1968. I think that's another way that we can make it a more kind of adult looking birthday, is if we add some, I don't want to say like oldie type of cut files, but it's not like your typical birthday cake and the banners and all those things that we associate for like when we're gonna do kid birthday. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I also wanted to use some stencils because even though I kind of wanted to try my hand on making it vintage and making it look kind of old-timey, I felt like it needed some color. And I tried to do that just by that background paper, but it was still kind of missing something for me. So I'm going to use my stencils and making my own balloons with the stencil that I have here on the left side. So again, if you are new to my channel, my name is Grace, and this channel mostly focuses on paper crafting. That includes scrapbooking and card making. I try to use up as much of my stash as I can. So if you're kind of looking for ideas on how to use the stuff that you already have, I hope that you will try to watch more of my videos, and also that you will subscribe and hit that bell notification button so that YouTube will notify you of when I post a new video. And if you are already one of my friends here on YouTube, thank you so much for coming back and for always keeping kind of in tabs of what I share here in YouTube. So here is where I'm going to create my own, and I did just pull out 3 distress inks so that I can kind of create my own colored balloons here. I am using Festive Berries, Crushed Olive, and Salty Ocean for my coloring here. And I'm just going to do 2 sets of each of the colors, and I felt like, well, in my mind, I thought that 2 sets of it will be good enough, because then it will create kind of a bookmark for my layout here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I am using some post-its just so that when I rub that ink onto the stencil, that it won't transfer to the other balloon, because the balloons are pretty close together. And I will but kind of exchange the colors of this when I'm using, because I'm using 3 different sizes of balloons, and so the other stuff, or the other set I should say, will have like the small balloon will be color red instead of the green, and so on and so forth. Another thing that I wanted to do, just because I felt like the glitter on the vintage 1968 needs to be seen in other parts of the layout, and so I am going to mist these balloons so it will have some glitter in it. Now I gotta let you know, I struggled misting this and I didn't understand why, because I've actually used this a while back, so I knew that it works. But then as soon as I turned off the camera, that's when it unclogged and I was able to spray it. So I don't know what was going on in there, but I did spray all of them with the glitter mist just so it will have a little bit of a shine. And now I am ready to go ahead and do some assembling and some gluing. So I decided that I needed a border between the big happy birthday background and then that pattern paper confetti one. I just felt like it needed something there. So I'm pulling out this blue paper and I run it through my border punch to create the scallop border. And then I'm just going to put that on this piece of paper. So it's not going to go all the way horizontally onto my black piece here, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be contained with this confetti paper. And then I'm just going to glue that, and that will be the base of all of my pictures and my elements and my little vintage one. Now, I can't decide if I wanted to make the title this big happy birthday, let's celebrate, or if I want to do vintage 1968. So I still can't decide on that at this moment. I don't know. Let me know in the description box below which one do you think I should go for as my title. And now I am going to put together my balloons here, and I want the balloons to kind of look like it's floating, and so I needed a string, and I'm going to use some twine here, and I decided to go with brown. Again, I'm kind of, another thing that I felt like was good for a masculine older person's birthday is to use much more neutral colors than the colorful ones that we associate with birthdays and the kitty birthdays anyways. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing browns, blacks. I did want to just kind of uh, keep it neutral, but again, I don't know, my comfort zone is I need some colors. So I added the confetti paper, and then I also added the blue and these balloons. But I'm going to keep everything else neutral. The matting for my photos was gray, and then again black, and then brown. And I hope you guys have liked these series and have gotten some ideas on how to use or how to make some masculine themed layouts. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding the balloons. I decided that two of the balloons will be flat and then one will be adhered with some foam adhesives. And so that's what I'm going to do here. Now I could have placed these balloons kind of at an angle, like well, I guess I am doing it at an angle, but you know, putting it like one on the top and one on the bottom. But then I wanted also to be realistic in the sense that I wanted the balloons to look like they are floating, so they have to be on the fairly top side of the layout. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm almost done. I did type up my journaling. I've been having fun using my old time typewriter lately. And so I did my journaling with the typewriter. I typed it in the typewriter and then cut that paper into strips and adhered that onto the layout. I did use, again, going back to the neutral kind of color scheme of this layout, I used a kind of light gray beige type of cardstock for that. And I'm just using a stamping block onto the strings or the twine because I had tied it and I wanted that not to stay there. So I put a stamping block and liquid glue so that it will stay in place. And I'm almost done here. Now, at this point, I thought I was done. Like I was looking at it and it felt done to me. But the visual triangle in my mind was, it feels like there wasn't any, and there's a space there on the bottom of the vintage 1968, and I felt like I needed something there. So at the last minute, I decided I was going to create some some gift sets or some boxes of gifts there, and I'm just cutting out some pieces of scrap paper, and I'm going to color that the same colors that I used for the balloons so that I could create my visual triangle there. And so I really like this last minute addition. I don't know, let me know in the description box below if I should have just stopped where I was, but I liked how it turned out. The lines that I created do remind me of Christmas gifts and presents and things like that. But as far as the color scheme, I like that there was that triangle that I am accustomed to. And it's pretty easy to do this. I feel like I need to remember to do this more often so that I can create more personalized type of elements on my page. And I'm just going to layer these, make sure that they are on that corner and not, I mean, they are going to overlap on the black piece of paper, but I was trying not to, just so I can contain everything within that frame so that, I don't know, it just looks good in the eye. And that's going to do it. And then the final touch would be the adding of the lines of the presents. So there is my layout. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for following this series. Again, I hope that you guys have been inspired, have gotten some ideas on what to do with or how to make some masculine type of layouts. If you have any questions, let me know in the description box below. If you have any ideas of future series, let me know as well. I know I've had some requests for other things, and so I'm working on those and trying to get some ideas, doing some research on how I can do those type of themes, but at the same time staying within my type of my comfort zone. So thank you so much, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.